too, but I wanted to just ask a couple of things first. In terms of carbohydrate, what are your thoughts about that? Because that's probably the hottest topic which you think about. We know protein's good. We know fat, you've got to just be careful how much. But out of those three, do people find carbs the most confusing? Yeah, talk a little about carbohydrates. So, do you think we need them? Yep. Okay. So what do you think it does? Gives you energy. Gives you energy? Yeah. Has anyone had a day where you haven't eaten for a few hours and you can't concentrate, you might get a bit moody? Or has anyone found if you haven't eaten for a while, the first thing you go for is something really instant? Sugar hit. Yeah. So what that means is when your blood sugars are going down, you won't go for something low GI because that will trickle in your system slowly. So you won't pick up a banana. You go for something like that. Yeah, danger. So has anyone found that? I'm a bit caught out. We all have. So that means that in terms of carbohydrate, it fuels your muscle and brain for energy. But coming back to portion caution, yes, the answer is if you eat too much carbohydrate, yes, we'll gain it as body fat. But do you think that's the same with protein and fat? Eat too much protein, you gain it. Eat too much fat, you gain it.
Is there lots of people saying that if you eat, you shouldn't eat carbohydrates at night time?
Yeah.
What's the story?
Good question, and I've read some interesting philosophies, for want of a better word, of after 3 o'clock don't eat carbs. So basically, that's something that you don't have to because I mean, if you've got children love pasta, children love rice, you might do them hamburgers, so it makes it really hard as a family to cut them out. Basically, you don't need to cut them out, but the whole idea is, as you're becoming less active in the day, you might taper off the amount you eat. So, at breakfast and lunch, you might have a good source of carbohydrate, whether it may be a cereal at breakfast, maybe some sort of wrap at lunch, or you could use other carbohydrate sources, which I'll show you today. At dinner time, yes, you find that sometimes dinner becomes the biggest meal. So you eat like a king at dinner and a pauper at breakfast rather than vice versa. So carbohydrates you can have in the evening, but the maximum amount I would say for a female, for example, would be about no more than 20 to 30 grams. So I'll show you, I won't give you any more hints because I'm going to ask you what you think. But normally at night it's about a fistful. And you've probably seen something like this before. It's a quarter carb, a quarter protein, and half a meal should be veg or salad. So in terms of your carbs at night, it might be a generous fist of your pasta. It could be your rice or your couscous. And in relation to maybe something starchy like potato, sweet potato, or corn, it's just a piece. So it doesn't give you a lot of room, does it? So what that means is, particularly with pasta, it can be really hard because you might have pasta with sauce, and that's the meal. You might have tomato with the sauce. So who's ever sort of put veggies in there to disguise it from the kids, or maybe a big salad in the middle of the table like the Italians do. Yeah? So some people, what they do to cut down the carbs, maybe underneath the bolognese, they might use some sort of vegetable underneath instead. But you can have carbs. For some people, I'm sure if you have a bit of a barbecue, you might just have the steak and salad, and who hasn't had carbs that night? So the answer is yes, but then it comes down to how much. Has anyone found if they've tried to cut out carbs and they find they snack later on? That can be a bit of an issue too. So it's an individual basis. If you've done a class with Gary, let's say in the afternoon, you will need some sort of carbohydrate at dinner. For other people, they might find, no, I'm actually happy with just the vegetables and protein. But as long as you portion, then you'll be fine. And in your folders, I've actually got specific advice. You've probably seen in terms of what they all equal. So I've got what a serve of carbies, and I've put all the different types of serves. And then you know, if I'm having sweet potatoes tonight, this is how much I can have. If I'm having rice tonight, this is how much I can have. So it gives you just sort of a quick checklist, like a really recommend. Yeah. Yes.
In the, I think it was the Sunday paper, last Sunday obviously, they had a section on, it was like the slim pasta, have you seen that?
Yes, the slim pasta, yeah.
I was just looking at it, I love pasta, that's my thing, so I don't know what you think of that.
Look, I think if you can keep portion right, you don't need to buy any diet product.
No?
So if you can keep 2, the amount would be, a cup of good pasta. And there's some people at night, it's just a matter of, one of your specific goals might be, if I'm doing portion, maybe rather than saying I'm going to cut down all my portions, maybe I'm going to be a bit more accurate and say I'm going to focus on carbohydrates this week. Because who finds if you just make that general goal of I'm going to cut down, what does that mean? So it's being a little more specific. So a couple of cooked pasta is all you need to do. And it'll be interesting because I'm going to show you that in relation to how it compares to other foods. If you wanted to cut down even more in your meal plan, there are some tips that you could do half a cup, but that would be actually a low carbohydrate meal. I'll just do that. Yeah. And pasta.
About 4 of them.
So there you go. Now to be realistic about that, if you're having 4 at the moment, is it realistic to cut down to 1 cup? Do you think the body will freak out a bit?
Oh,
Absolutely. So the golden rule is, and it's kind of like Margaret Mead, probably when you wean yourself up off sugar, you probably just did it gradually. So what you did, yeah, see, and that's why you kept to it.
I think I did it for a job.
There you go. So did you just cut down a little bit by a little bit?
Yep. And just, I'm having a lemon drink, started having a lemon drink every morning as well. And at first I put a little bit of honey in it or something, but yeah, gradually cut. Just good.
Yeah.
And now I have no problem with it. It takes me about an hour to drink it. When I first started.
That's
I
great.
hated it. Hated it.
You persisted.
Yeah.
So what you might do is you're going to 4 cups, and that doesn't mean that if you're someone like Gary, what was it, Pete? Yeah, quite small. I mean, you'd go for like, you'd probably eat that much, and you've got to just be careful if you're quite an active person. But if you did 4 cups, I'd actually cut down to 3 cups, then cut down to 2 cups. So by the end of the challenge, you'll be down to that.
Oh, I haven't eaten pasta in a while, so.
Yeah.
But I'd probably only eat it maybe once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So.
There you go. It's interesting because when you look at the GI, what's the lowest in GI? Pasta, basmati rice, or sweet potato. Pasta's actually the lowest. And the reason why is it's made with a little bit of protein, so it's got egg in it, and egg slows down the blood sugars. So whenever I have someone with diabetes and they go, oh, I've got to cut out the pasta, but I'll keep eating the rice, I'll get them to do experiments, and I guarantee 2 hours after the meal when they test, having a pasta that keeps the portion, it's actually lower. The Italians do have it right, but you just got to be careful with the amount. And that's the hardest thing. So